Welcome back, everyone, to the Song of Waves and Wind, where we have finally gained entry to Furukzahar after much delay. Why was there a delay? I think we're going to have to find that out at some point, but for now, I think it's time for us to head over to the throne room and present ourselves. We have arrived at the throne of Furukzahar, and it's quite impressive. And I must say, there are more trees here than I would have expected. In fact, the trees are probably the last thing I would have expected inside of a Dwarven hall, especially in a throne room. Well, greetings, sir. This is Hamisar.
Welcome, King Elisar, to the stronghold of Furukzahar.
How shameful that our folk have remained neighbors for so long without you coming to visit us here. I mourn that it took the fighting of a war to bring us together, but at least something did so. I gave my greetings to the king, but of course his companions are welcome here as well. He and I have matters to discuss concerning the ongoing relationship between our peoples and how the Temenir can best aid in the rebuilding of this kingdom. I would not think to bore you with such matters. I hope that you will explore this beautiful quarters of Furukzahar and meet with my folk. So they gave me various places I could view while I am visiting. I shall do so while you have your audience with your fellow ruler. So let's go out and explore. I suppose we'll follow the right-hand rule for now. Oh, let's see. Hello there.
There is a chill in the air, and I do not like it.
I am not in the mood for talking right now, stranger. Oh, forgive my rudeness. I am just having a bad day. You see, I was being rather cavalier with my favorite helmet, tossing it from one hand to the other, but I was careless and accidentally knocked it over the railing. I heard a splash from below, and it was likely carried out of the fortress by the current. It was my favorite helmet, and now it is gone. I suppose it might have caught up against one of the stones of the water channel here in Furukzahar, but that seems unlikely to me. If you can find it and bring it back to me, I would be very pleased, stranger. But I am not expecting you to be able to do this. It's probably gone. Right, I'll have a look at it if I happen to be near the channel. Now, what about this? Curiously, you feel a strange sensation of dread as you approach this door. Dread? +4 dread. Right, that's cancel out summon and make it +3 dread. Well, that's still not good.
I ask that you wander elsewhere, stranger. There's nothing for you here.
Nothing for me here. Got it! What do you say, Gimli? Nope, no idea either? Alright, so let's follow the right-hand rule. So tempting to go into there right now, but let's enforce right-hand rule for the moment and see what we've got. So far, nothing. Ah! A bridge! It looks like I found the dining hall. Right, and I found the kitchen. The delicious aroma of cooking food fills the kitchens of Furukzahar.
What has brought you to Furukzahar? I hope you do not think to involve us in your wars.
The Temanir of Furukzahar have always welcomed visitors from the other dwarf families. But Hamisar shut the gates for a reason. He did not intend to invite Gondor's war to our doorstep. Friendly fellow. Hello?
Do you need something?
You are a fresh visitor to Furukzahar. No, do not seek to deny it. Does this mean you have never sampled any of my renowned cooking? You have not lived until you have tasted such delicacies as I and my kitchen provide for the residents of the fortress. You simply must, my new friend, and when you have eaten your fill, you will come back to me and tell me how you cannot believe you have ever praised any such food in all of your life. They will seem like swill to you after this day. There is a custom amongst my people, however. You must serve a meal before you taste your own. Here, I will give you some plates of food to bring to the hall outside. Set them upon the counters so that others can help themselves, and then you can have your own meal. I will await your satisfied review. Aha. All right. Let's go and serve some meals. I suppose this is where we must set one of the plates. There you go. And the second one can go here. The third one can go here. And the final one goes, oops, here.
Do you need something?
This is the last plate of food? Then it is yours by right, my friend. Eat up. All right. Let's have a little bit something to eat. After all that waiting and hunting and all, I guess I could use with a meal. Girma looks at you expectantly. Well? What shall I say?
How might I be of service?
I assume that Zedok asked you to return to him with your compliments? Can I give you some advice? All right. Zadok does not take the criticism well, and if you did not enjoy the meal, telling him so is going to interfere with the running of the fortress for at least a week, as the dwarves who work in the kitchens try to cheer him up. It has happened before, and it is not a pleasant thing. I am not asking you to lie, though. No. It is simple. If you enjoyed the meal, feel free to return to Zadok with your positive words. But if you did not, can I ask you to share your sentiments with with Alim instead? He is usually outside the fortress, looking out over the valley. He taught Zadok the cooking profession, and therefore, if he conveys your displeasure, it will not be received as poorly. That is not too much trouble, is it, friend? The stomachs of TitanBar of Furukzahar thank you for your discretion. And it says that meal was really something. Oh well. Anyway, I guess we should cheer him up. I am done with that wonderful meal.
Hail!
You liked it! Oh, I knew you would. Folk are always coming in here to tell me how much they enjoyed the meals that I prepared for them. I suppose Alan knew what he was doing when he taught me the finer points of cooking. Sometimes I think I cannot possibly live up to his example, So, it is nice to hear such kind words from you. Thank you for them. Zarek has a spring in his step. It seems the kitchens of Furukzahar will continue to be bubbling for another week. Alright, now, I think I saw another quest ring out in the dining hall, so let's see what that's all about. Ah, he is standing right next to the... Ooh. A way down into the water. Well, that'll come in handy. Hello there.
What is it?
Welcome to Furukzahar. The fortress has not had many visitors of late due to the war in Gondor, but I am pleased to see that Amistar has ordered the gates open once again. A number of noteworthy visitors have come to the fortress since then, friends from near lands and distant. This is a city of the TitanBar, wisest of the dwarves, and we have had this home for ourselves far from the ancient ancestral lands. It was not always the home of the TitanBar. Are you familiar with the Battle of Azunubizar? Yes, I do recall some stories of it from other clans, in fact. Yes, the last great conflict in the War of Dwarves and Elves. 200 years ago it was, but it was so momentous a battle that it is still spoken of by all the clans of the dwarves, including my people. My own father, Mulugu, fought in it and to achieve glory. When he was young, I was fortunate to survive the fighting, or I would not be here today. Do you have an interest in history? You should hear my father's account of the battle from one who fought it. Seek him in the throne of Furukzahar, for he as often goes there to advise Hasamir about matters of importance to our folk. I guess I could hear it. Sort another account to it, since the accounts I have heard, of course, were from the Longbeards, and maybe a little bit from the Joruka. But alright, here is a little bit of a platform looking out into the valley. But not much there to study at the moment, so I think the next place I need to go, if I'm following right hand rule. Oh, that actually comes before the bridge. Alright. Yeah, alright. Seems to be a second bridge. Well, that sort of makes things difficult to see everything by right-hand rule, it looks like. So, here, this way. Yeah, that brings us back to the entrance. So that means... we are going to have to go in here, because we'll never get to the central spot if we just followed pure right-hand rule or anything like that. So, I suppose I shall swim all the way around here. Yeah, okay, we got the water there going through the wheel. Alright. Now I'll just swim around here, checking all the locations until finally I find some sign of this helmet. I'm beginning to suspect that it was taken away by the current. I have to get up here. Oh! How did it get there? Well, let's have a look at it. See if it's in shape. An egg rests inside of Bazab's lost helmet, and you decide not to disturb it. Cave claw egg. He's not gonna like this. I can see that already. Well, I guess I should report on that issue. maybe before I go and do that, let's check in on the armory. Here we are at the armory. The armory bustles with activity and the sound of doors working at the forges.
It is good to see you again.
I didn't expect the King of Gondor to accept the invitation to visit Furukzahar so swiftly. It reflects well upon him for respecting the wishes of Hamisar, and upon you for bringing word of him in such haste. I hope that you enjoy your stay here, and that King Elisar and ruler Hamisar will be able to arrive to a fair and equitable arrangement, and that will enrich both of our folk. Okay. What do you say about that, Gimli? Yep. Better reception than at that other door, right? Well now. Hello there.
Have you a moment?
You are a visitor to Furukzahar, are you not? You could have come a little earlier than this, of course, for it was the command of Hamisar that we shut the gates and not allow outsiders within the fortress while Gondor was at war. It was a wise decision, to be sure, but it has left me with something of a problem. You see, when Hamisar decreed that no Tevenir would depart the fortress, many of my folk felt their weapons lying about. There was to be no need for them, you see. But now they are scattered all about Furukzahar, and whose job is it to retrieve them? Well, I don't know, but I have a feeling it's going to turn into my job somehow. Aha! Why, yes, my new friend, you guessed it on the first try. You will be rewarded for this work, of course. Of course. What else is new? Alright. Well, we still haven't come this way with our right-hand rule bit, even though I'm pretty much disposing of that. Now, what about this way? This goes back to the throne room, and I need to speak with them at the throne room anyway. But first, let's see if I could collect these weapons and deal with other matters. Forgotten weapon is... well, that's on the other side. We'll take care of that later. Hello.
How might I be of service?
Ah, yes. You look like that you might be the sort who hungers for adventure. You must always be climbing about the wilderness, scaling cliffs and leaping from dangerous embankments. Yes? Well, I've been known to do things like that. Good. I need your help. You see, we are engaged in a little friendly competition to see which team of dwarves can stack the piles of crates the highest. We call it the stacking game, and it is something that we came to play in the weeks following the outbreak of war in Gondor. When Hamisar ordered to shut the gates of Furukzahar. My team has only 2 members in it, and we are losing. Just as we lost the game before, and the game before that, and then, and that. But since the other team has 3, you are free to join us. This is the pivotal crate, my friend. I need it placed atop the northernmost stack, and if you can manage it, then we win. Otherwise, the heights of the stacks will remain unchanged, and we lose, as usual. So I need to take this crate and put it on top of that. Uh-huh. Right. Well, I'm not getting up that thing. Right? Don't ask me how I do this with the crate in my hand, but there we go. Cheers! And a few groans erupt from below as you win the stacking game. Well, how about that? There you go.
Help!
Very nicely done, my friend. You must tell me your name. Pineleaf? I see. It's good to meet you, Pineleaf. I know this is just a silly game, and we should not let it affect us so much as it does, but there's little else for us to do once Hamissar shut the gate. Now that visitors are coming once again to Furukzahar, perhaps there'll be less need for us to play the stacking game. Thank you again for helping us to win, my new friend. Winning is not everything, of course, but it happens to me so rarely that I must cherish it when it does. Alright, there you go. Now, let's pick up this weapon. We'll go to the throne room. We'll at least report on the helmet before we head to the throne room. And make sure we collect the weapons on this area. I know, let's not get too close to dreadful door over there.
There is a chill in the air, and I do not like it.
What's that? My helmet has been taken by a cave claw when she laid an egg inside of it? That is beautiful, my friend. She's welcome to retain possession of my favorite helmet until the egg hatches, of course. Of course she is. We have to protect the nest at all costs. Oh?
What is it?
Will you go to the kitchens of Furukzahar and ask Zadok for some wood that I can use to make a sign? I will write "keep out" or "quiet please" or something similar to that, and that should keep my dwarves from disturbing the nest long enough for the egg to hatch. Cave claws are something of a familiar pest in these mountains, and if we do not post a warning sign, I am afraid that the guards might answer these creatures with violence. But she chose my favorite helmet as the best place to raise her young, and that makes me responsible for their safety. Okay. Whatever you say. I think it's time to go into the throne room. Has Aragorn reached an agreement? We'll find that out in the next episode of The Song of Waves and Wind.